Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I'm Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network, and this is the show. We're going to break down the headlines. We're going to look at the markets. We're going to talk about some really interesting things. Uh, 30 indicators that indicate the top of Bitcoin's cycle. Out of those 30 indicators, zero are saying that we're there yet. So we're going to look at that and where is this information at. We're also going to talk about are whales selling the bottoms and buying the tops, guys. We all think that whales they're the market makers, but I think retail is really wrecking some wells lately, and we're going to take a look at that. There's some on data, there's some on chart data for that that we're going to look at. The selling tops and bottoms, and then also going to talk about is your exchange robbing you? And most likely they are, unless you're doing one simple thing. We're going to talk about that. We're going to break that down. We're also going to look and see what's going on with this market sell off today, because you can see a couple of green items on here, but for the most part on the daily in the red. Look at the hourly, a lot of red there too. Guys, market sell off today. Looking at the TradFi side, even NASDAQ is down today. But Trump, he made a deal with Japan. It's actually a really bad deal for Japan. They're getting desperate over there. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to look at some headlines and stuff. Is the Bitcoin bull market over? So we got a lot to break down and unwrap today. It's hump day. Shout out to the Otter gang, the OGs joining us in here. Guys, welcome to class. Everyone take your seats, get your notebooks out. Daniel Barnes, lock that door in the back. Nobody gets into class without letting us know that they have arrived late, and shame on them. Guys, you know what time it is. Class is in session. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Market Report, guys. Bring the chart down here. There we go. A little bit of a sell-off right there happening, but look, we're still consolidating. We're ranging in a zone of consolidation, and that's okay. We'll take it. Oh man, we got Wave Cipher in here. I want to bring up OC because I got to give a shout out to the crew. The OGs, the Otter Gang, has joined us here with the alumni. So OC, what's up, dude? We got a bunch of people in class right now, and they're wanting to know what the hell is going on with Bitcoin. So, but how are you doing today? That's what I want to know. How is OC today?
Oh man, today I'm demolished. I'm tired. I'm regretting being alive. Man, yesterday was my first day in the gym after I don't know how many years, and I tried to kill it. I didn't kill me. I need to confess that it feels good. Like if you move 1 inch of your body and it hurts, it's sort of like move right when you're a sadomasochist, but still like you want to reach for water and it's all right, so you want to reach for taking profit, it's like like, but other than that, doing
You got
fantastic.
to ease in. You got a dollar cost average in to that. To that, you got to damage control average in DCA in on that workout, man. Do I need to get Daniel Barnes to come down and give you some lessons? Dude's a beast in the gym. So, do we need to have Daniel Barnes come and teach you how to DCA into a workout, OC?
Oh please.
Let's go ahead and bring up. Let's go ahead and bring up everybody that's here in the chat right now. I appreciate you guys all being here and joining us here this morning. It is awesome to see everyone here. We got JR, Average Crypto Joe, Alexandra G, the Mod Queen, Baba Yaz, Django in here. Hey, Django was in an awesome short entry from what I understood. So good morning and shout out to him. I was watching him over there in Alex. And yeah, he's like, I got it right here. So I think he got into a pretty good trade. That's awesome. Who else we got in here? Daniel Barnes, Wave Cipher, Eric Ballin, Wallen. Oh, he said it's earnings weeks too. That's a fact. It is. It's earnings week also, which is also causing some TradFi volatility, which is translating over into the crypto side. So, Piper, where's your hat? I have a whole wall of hats. It's okay. Let's see here. Gen X Fairy Godmother is in here with us. Average Crypto Joe. Who else? Who else we got in here? Guys, drop some chats here. Let me know you're here. I think I saw Harp in here. I saw Ninja Glock, Dylan VA, awesome. Precautionary Dinero. Appreciate everyone being here. $2 super chat from Dave Digital. He said, "Great job, OC. The first step is the hardest. Good going." So he's got $2 there for you to get yourself some electrolytes and so get those electrolytes up. So. All right, guys. Hey, Diggity. Good morning to you. I see you there. And JR, I see you there also. Kyle, Phil, Joe. Like 20 is number. Dave Digital. Guys, if you haven't smashed that like button yet, do so. We got a lot of
Pump those
people in
numbers
here.
up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
And if you want to just wait around and see what we do here at the Piper Academy, see if you like it and then smash it, that's fine. Hang out. Let's go ahead and get into it, though. OC, I want to jump over into the news. Let me get that screen set up here. Let's jump over into the news and just start breaking this stuff down. But where are we at with Bitcoin first? I want to know what the current market conditions are looking like for Bitcoin. Let's talk about that, and then we'll do the news. Over to you, OC.
Absolutely. So let's get first started at looking at, for example, something like BNB. And oh my God, what is going on? And if we take a look at Atom, oh my freaking God, again, look at that. Oh, by the way, very nice trade that we took in Atom. But if you go to XRP, what's going on? Bitcoin must be dumping, right?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, not really. It's not dumping. It's just not doing anything. But we're seeing that rotation back of capital. I think what is happening right here in the crypto market, and I know that we are supposed to be talking about Bitcoin, but this is important. It is just taking profits on those altcoins, and well, we might be preparing for the next step to a run up. I think this is a good news because despite it did not play out exactly like we were expecting, look at that. We have a new high order block being built right here, and of course the loud order block that we already had before. So remember that I was expecting a little bit of a pullback in here at the top seat here. So let's just adjust this for how I believe now it's going to be happening. I still think that we're going to have that sweep of the lows. Nonetheless, if we don't have it, that's fine. We broke it as we were expecting right here, our zero line. Perfect. That was fantastic. We have our reversal coming back down. Fantastic. And our money flow is still rushing down. I wouldn't worry that much about this, and that is because look at your volume matrix. Your volume matrix right now, it is going from negative to positive. So somewhat we're not having that much money rushing in fast, but we're having a steady amount of money now compensating for that lack or extraction of money. So when we start seeing those plays like, for example, XRP, XLM, like all of those coins that have been dropping, well, then it's not that it's a good thing, but they're taking some profits. Hopefully, you also are taking some profits in there and creating a snowball effect to the downside. What's going on with that money? I cannot tell you for sure exactly what's going on, but I can speculate about it. And what I'm seeing is just Bitcoin steady, holding strong, and hitting a support as we speak. So most likely we're going to be seeing farther in the future how they were taking some money and then converting into USDT, USDC, DAI, or whatever other flat coin we might have out there, and finally transforming it back to Bitcoin. So once again, I think that we still have a chance to grab this low somewhere around 115, 114, somewhere around those areas, with a sweep, with a really quick sweep of the lows, and finally a breakout. In case I'm wrong, remember I'm still prepared for breakout, going to somewhere around 121, 700, come back down, hit previous lows, my entry somewhere around 119, and then off we go. Yep. So far, that's where we're standing on Bitcoin. We're flat, we're holding strong, and we'll see some rotation in capital from altcoins.
Yeah, I just took a look at the XRP chart, which we're going to look at here in a minute. But quite the sell off. And guys, Monday morning, the Piper plan in our Discord, we put out, consider taking 50% profits on your spot XRP holdings. Just saying.
That was spot on, brother.
It was spot on. 50% profit taking. Guys, we do the Piper plan. If you guys don't know about it, you should come check it out. It really is something special over there. It's better than I thought it would be, to be honest. It's made me a lot of money since January. So let's go ahead and jump over into the news and let's check it out here on the metrics for Into the Cryptoverse first. Let's jump over there. Hey, there we go. Welcome to the morning news brought to you by Optery, guys. If you got your data out there anywhere on the internet, and I'm sure you do, go check them out. They will show you where all of your data is at across 645 websites. And If you decide that you wanted to get it all cleaned off, that is what Optery does. Link down below in the description. Thanks for sponsoring the news segment today, Optery. Let's go jump into the crypto market cap right now. We're currently sitting at $3.86 trillion. The trend line on this is at 4.1 trillion, guys. Currently undervalued, about 5.86%. And you guys notice every time we get close to this thing zeroing out, being balanced on the trend line, we get another pullback. Historically, this red line, that's what they're talking about. This fair value line is a really bad resistance level for us. And then once we break it, then we get that parabolic move. We can't seem to get above that. So keeping an eye on that daily here on the Piper Academy Show. Guys, looking here at the current risk market, we're at a risk band on Bitcoin at 58.2% risk band. That makes it a 2x DCA, meaning your weekly DCA should be multiplied times 2. Coinbase, Bitcoin dominance, that's the word. Looking at that right now with stable coins, we're sitting at 60.11%. Yesterday, we were below 60. We have retaken that again. Without stable coins, we were below 64%. Now we're above 64%. Bitcoin dominance is making a return. And this is what BC and I were talking about in our Monday Discord session with the members. Guys, Bitcoin was hitting support for a sell-off on its dominance. So now we are seeing that it is starting to come back up. Let's go jump over here. Take a look at, not this. We want fear and greed. We're going to look at that in a little while that I just showed there. Bitcoin, fear and greed right now, we're at 74. So even with the sell-off right now, which really happened the start of this morning, we are seeing that we're closing in on extreme greed as we're in this consolidating range, guys. So be aware, once we hit extreme greed, sell-offs become even more likely. So be prepared. Don't be scared. Looking here at the 24-hour liquidations on Bitcoin, guys, across the crypto market, I should say. Past 24 hours, 175,004 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $508 million, just a little over $500 million. Largest single liquidation was on Ethereum for $3.97 million. I guarantee you someone was still longing and thought it was going up forever, and then, yep, got hit on that long. Let's go look at the crypto bubbles, talk about the current price levels. We're currently at $117,700 on Bitcoin, down about 0.6% on the daily. Ethereum's down about 1.9, but look at the other altcoins, guys. 6% downside on XRP. BNB's holding strong, up 2.9%. So OC, your BNB, that coin that you hate but you love to trade, doing pretty good today. Solana down 4.6%. Dogecoin down 6.4%. Cardano's down 5.4. Hyperliquid's down about 1.6, holding steady there. Stellar Lumen's down 5.2%, actually selling off less than XRP, interestingly enough. Sui's down about 3.3%. Chainlink's down 4.5%, coming in at $18 there. Had HBAR's down 5.6%. Any other big movers here? Bitcoin Cash is holding pretty decent. Actually, its dominance starting to get a little bit of a pump there. It's moved up one spot on the market cap. And then my trading view charts are freezing up now. Reset your entire trading view, Hart. That happens to me quite a bit. 5.2% downside on Shiba Inu, and Leo token is flat and neutral. Why? Because we get a sell-off going here, and a lot of people are on that Leo DeFi using that Leo token, their native token. And so it's just kind of sitting static right now, gaining some strength in comparison to the other tokens. So when people are, hey, I don't want to lose all this money, I get out of these altcoins, they typically put it into Leo token on that DeFi exchange. So all right, stock market. Let's give it a refresh here because NASDAQ is now red, I believe. Yep. Nope, it's flat. Okay. NASDAQ is currently sitting flat right now, up about 0.01%. S&P is up about 0.22%, and the Dow Jones up about 0.4%. We could get a little rebound today. I think we might get a rebound on this. There you go, Hart. Appreciate it. I think we could get a little rebound on this because we are seeing some hold strength across the TradFi side here, and the volatility is starting to drop a little bit. Let's go see how the Asian markets and the Europe markets looked last night. European markets looked pretty good overnight. Asian markets looked pretty good overnight. Everything in the green there. Looking at the bond here, it's gaining strength again. Can't get this thing down, and that is what Trump needs in order to refinance all of our debt that's coming up and maturing this year, guys, and it's sitting at 4.374. This is why he's screaming for the Federal Reserve to cut 300 basis points, which I do not think is going to happen. Looking at oil, getting a little pullback on that, $64.89 a barrel, down about 0.64. And look at gold. Gold is sitting down 0.43%, but still above $3,400. Silver getting another rally, closing in on $40. Copper is green. Platinum is red. Palladium is green, OC. Sorry, had to do that to you, bro. Looking at this.
Good.
So, big trade deal. Trump announces massive trade deal with Japan, setting tariffs at 15%. And so I'm going to go over here to X marks the spot because there's actually a really good post over here from Kabisi letter that he's talking about this. Let's bring this one up and we'll break it down for you. So Japan agreed to a deal, trade deal that said it still involves paying a 15% reciprocal tariff. So they're still going to pay 15% tariffs, okay? Requires a $550 billion investment in the U.S., probably via treasury bonds. That would be my guess, because when you buy treasury bonds, that drops the rate. And so that's probably the negotiation, is to get that $550 billion to push that 10-year treasury yield down. 90% of the profits from investments will go to the U.S. So in order to agree with this deal, Japan's economy must be far worse than most people expect. Treasury yields are rising to record highs in Japan for a reason. Japan is desperate. As Japan faces an economic crisis, Treasury yields just keep on rising. Japan's 30-year government bonds have lost 45% of their value since 2019. This deal is a last-ditch effort to save their economy. And again, Bitcoin and gold have known this for a long time. Just wanted to bring that up because this deal that, yeah, it's great for the U.S., but it's actually showing what's going on with the global economy partners out there like Japan. Japan will open their country to trade, including cars, trucks, rice, and other agricultural products and other things. Japan's prime minister said that the auto tariffs on Tokyo will be lowered to 15%. So there you go. That's some news that came in this morning, or overnight, I should say. And then mortgage demands are flatlining at low levels, guys. Just hit a new 4-week high. What is it? It is 6.84%. It went from 6.82 to 6.84 in a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Existing home sales came in. That data was at 4 million previously. It was expected to be 4.1, 4.01 to 4, flat pretty much. Came down 3.93. So existing home sales slowed down more than expected. And then existing home sales month over month was at 1%. They thought it would be down about 0.7%. On the forecast, came in negative 2.7. Existing home sales are sucking. And I know this for a fact. Why? Because I'm selling a house in El Paso. It's an existing home and it's not selling. So, yeah, guys, it's hurting right now. Need these mortgage rates to come down. That needs to happen via the 10-year treasury yield. So I'm with Trump. I don't think we need a 300 basis point, but can we lower that thing a little bit, give people a better mortgage so I can sell a house? That would be great. Thank you very much, President Trump and Jerome Powell. Tomorrow, guys, we got initial jobless claims coming in, expected to have higher than the previous unemployment filings. Gia S., lady, how are you doing? Have not seen Gia S. in a hot minute over here. I'm glad to see her in the house. She said good morning. Good morning to you, Gia. And then Friday, guys, we're going to get durable goods orders. It was a 16.4% upside move. That is a showing of strength, right? 16% increase. They're expecting it to be down 10% to 9%, 10.5 to 9% actually, for durable goods orders, indicating a slowdown of economic growth there in the durable goods orders. If you don't know what the hell is a durable good, it's your refrigerators, it's your washers and dryers, it's things that you buy in the economy that are expected to last longer than 3 years, right? So that is a durable good. It's not something that just, that trits out and kaput. It's supposed to last at least 3 years. So good luck on that. So some stuff. All right, let's go look at the likelihood of a rate cut. Flashbang, shout out to Alexander G. Shout out to Alex O Crypto for that. He likes to use flashbang when he brings up the white screen, and I love it. So looking at the current rate, let's refresh it and make sure it's up to date. Current chance of a rate cut in July, right now, 2.6%. That's it. 97.4% chance we're going to stay flat. Looking at September, we're now seeing a 61% chance of a rate cut in September. Look at October, 81.4%. So not close to 100% at all. And there was a time where September was like a 90% chance of a rate cut. October was like a 99%. So we are seeing that start to slide. We don't actually get into the 90 percentile of a likelihood of a rate cut until December now. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Of course, Trump's going to absolutely lose it. So let's talk about a pullback. Let's talk about that. As a matter of fact, we'll bring OC up for this one because we're going to go right into some Bitcoin TA after this. So OC, come on up, bro. Bitcoin could pull back with equities in the coming weeks, warns Piper Sandler. That is a different Piper. That is not me. But shout out to the Pipers. Bitcoin has notched new records this year as more investors embrace its digital gold narrative. But Piper Sandler warns the crypto is still vulnerable to stock market moves and could stumble in the coming weeks should worries about tariffs or rate hikes hit risk assets. We recommend taking profits on stocks that have benefited most from the relief rally since April. Piper Sandler's chief investment strategist, Michael Kay, there and head of portfolio strategist, said in a note on Tuesday, markets have flipped from pricing in an inflationary recession on April 8th to a Goldilocks backdrop today. The stocks most at risk after this move are those higher beta, lower quality names that have seen huge multiple expansions without really any improvements on the earnings outlook. With Bitcoin, there remains a very tight directional correction with equity market risk. Thus, if we do get a sell-off in risk on assets, for any macro risk that gets priced in, Bitcoin would likely decline as well over the near term. So let's get down here and talk about this. The flagship cryptocurrency has been one of the top performing assets ever, but it said they're using this since April 9th, returning 54% since then and hitting an all-time high as recently as last week. The gains have been fueled by institutional adoption via Bitcoin ETFs as well as corporate treasury buying. Bitcoin investors are no strangers to big drops, but the coin's maturity has noticeably led to reduced volatility, and that is true. We've seen that across the board, that Bitcoin just doesn't have the pullbacks that it used to, with many of its moves in reaction to broader risk sentiment being smaller than the big swings that made it famous. For example, on April 3rd, just after President Donald Trump introduced his sweeping tariffs, Bitcoin fell 5% compared to the S&P's 4%. Still, the move shows Bitcoin, nevertheless, does move in tandem with those risk assets, right? Piper Sandler said there's little risk price in for August 1st tariff deadline. But surprise to the upside could disrupt the Goldilocks environment. Economic conditions are neither too hot nor too cold, and the firm expects modestly higher consumer price index. That means slightly increased inflation. That could complicate the current narrative that interest rates are moving lower in the near term, and I don't think they are. August also tends to be a weak month for Bitcoin and markets in general, given lower volume amid the summer lull. So on top of what we're seeing right now in the metrics, August is also a month that does not perform quite as well as other months in the year. And so I think best case scenario right now, we are looking at just what we've been saying, this consolidation in this range here of about 121 to the upside and 116 to the downside. Look at the daily metrics here, OC. You can see we're just kind of stuck here between our upper golden band of our predictive ranges and the upper resistance band of predictive ranges. Of course, that top side on that is coming in at like $127,000. That would be the upper frame of this entire predictive range cycle. We are continuing to see here on the MACD normalize, the histogram giving us lower candles. We're not seeing the end coming in on this too quickly. It is starting to fade into these lighter colors like we've seen over here, which could indicate that we're getting close. But as of right now, we would need to see this money flow on the daily that is starting to turn yellow here. That's this line right here. This is money flow. It is starting to turn yellow, showing some positive movement, but you can see volume is flat. We're just kind of flat on the True 7. This is 7 different oscillator indicators in one right here. It's flat and ranging sideways. And then top it off, we're looking pretty flat here on RSI on the Heikin-Ashi candles. So this is RSI turned into candlesticks. flipped into Heikin-Ashi candles with the heat map on it. And what I am liking about this picture right now is that we are starting to get these small. But my worry is that this becomes a continuation, right? This next daily candle on here is going to tell us a lot. For example, here you can see that it started to get really narrow and then it went down for one more push to the downside, right? But typically, what we like to see is it getting that narrow, and then we get a move to the upside, which is what we saw right here on price action. Okay. And so I'm watching that closely. I'll be keeping an eye on this next RSI close here. Tomorrow's RSI candle, if we start getting the upside move on that, will indicate that we're going to finally get that move to the upside. But I got a couple of things that I want to bring up. I was showing OC this earlier, and it has to do with this large order. Nope, not that. Right there. This isn't a top. Okay, OC and I were talking about this on before the pre-show started, and there's a set of 30 indicators that actually tell you the Bitcoin top. And as of right now, we're sitting at like 97%. It says 100%, but it's about 97% hold. Do not sell yet, right? This isn't the top. Here's why Bitcoin analysts say Bitcoin will break $123,000. And I'll actually show you on the chart where those orders are at. It's actually 125. This is wrong. Several Bitcoin on-chain metrics are suggesting that Bitcoin's market structure remains strong and the Bitcoin cycle has more room to run. Let's go down here and take a look at it. Analytics firm Bitcoin Vector said that although Bitcoin's momentum has slowed, multiple on-chain metrics suggest that the Bitcoin cycle is not over. Momentum is cold, but structure and fundamentals remain solid. This isn't a top. It's a coiled setup with support underneath us. I do think we're going to get that pullback. I think that support range that they're talking about is solid, and they're looking at like 116.5 here to 120 being that range. I do think we're going to get a liquidity sweep below that 116.5, maybe even close out a CME gap that's sitting down there. But on-chain metrics are just suggesting room for expansion. Looking at Bitcoin short-term holders cost base, STH cost basis refers to the average purchase price of investors who have held Bitcoin for less than 155 days, and that is still active, not exhausted out at all, meaning people are buying. Let's go and take a look at these metrics and let's talk about this. Bitcoin market peak indicators. And OC was like, where's this data at? Well, guys, it's on CoinGlass, and it's one of their premium setup dashboards here. And you can see 31.25% on this Bitcoin AHR 999 index, right? The Pi cycle top indicator. We've talked about that here on the show. The Pure multiples, Bitcoin rainbow chart. The only one that is close on here to showing a top side is Bitcoin dominance, and it's showing 92.99% of that is played out, right? But overall, take a look right here. Look, we're hold, sell. We're sitting about 97% here. So 30 metrics are saying that the top is not in. So why are we not pumping and why are we not dumping, right? Why are we just holding in this range? There's a chart for that, OC. There's a heart. We got a chart here. Let's take a look at this. This is pretty interesting. These are well orders and large trades, okay? Do you see this big green bubble here, OC? That is a large buy from a well. That was $5.94 million in volume. It was 49.823 Bitcoin right there. What happened?
Holy shit, Piper.
They bought the top.
We're
Wells
doing it
bought the
all
top,
wrong.
OC.
Yeah,
Look at this one here.
We're doing it all wrong, man.
We're doing it all wrong. If you want to trade like a well, you got to buy the top. And look here, large sell, 205 Bitcoin at the bottom. So what is happening here is whales are buying tops and selling bottoms, and retail is absorbing that pressure through ETF buying. That's essentially what's going on here. Retail is fighting against the whales through institutional buy-in, because that's a lot of the TradFi side Wall Street bros. They're buying their Bitcoin through ETFs, right? A lot of them have started doing that. They're not doing it through the exchange. They're not self-custodying. They're buying it through ETFs. But that is enough momentum in retail to stop these well sell-offs of 205 Bitcoin at the bottom. It's pretty amazing to see this actually. Look, and it happens over and over. Like the big green trade there. That was 68 Bitcoin at the top. Right now, though, the one that I'm watching on here is the whale orders. And if we bring this in, come here, you. Let's bring this in and just show you. You see this big order right here? That's at 118. Okay. But the one that I want to show you, and let me refresh this and make sure I get this in here because I don't want to have unclean data in this report. So let's bring it in, refresh it. Thank you. Let's turn off the large trades and we'll just look at these whale orders. We have a huge one coming in right here. This is a sell order at $121,000. We have another one coming in here at $122,000, and then the big one is right here, $125,000. There's about $31 million worth of orders on the books right now for Bitcoin. So, market buys at the top or Piper stops. Absolutely. That's it. That was me. That was me selling. That was me selling at the top, though. What's up, DDT? How you doing today, man? But yeah, $125,000 OC. That is where there's a wall. There's a sell wall sitting there, bro, on this on the well orders and large trades. So, but yeah, what do you think of the wells, man? They're buying tops and selling bottoms. I don't know what to think about that. And retail, there was a time, you guys may remember GameStop days, that retail just kept crushing the whales, the institutional hedge fund managers at every turn. So is that what's going on here with Bitcoin? Is retail keeping Bitcoin in this consolidation range? Your thoughts on this, OC?
Well, let me just bring up something that is up for debate, of course. And we talked about both case scenarios here, but I still stand behind my position, which is I think retail is the actual sleeping dragon in the room. The point with retail is that many of the time, most of the times, 99% of the times, and don't hold me accountable for that percentage, but they never get together to buy the same way, right? But if you start looking at how micro buys from retail, as you mentioned, I mean, whoever is buying, they most likely are buying through the ETF. So the ETF is just not big money jumping in. It's also retail proxying in Bitcoin
Yep.
over the ETF, right? So when we get together, I think that we are the ones that move the market. And that is talking about how, I mean, we can see those huge orders buying the top and then we dump it, right? And then they buy the bottom and then we pump it. And I think we are the crazy people in the room, right? That crazy aunt, like that goes like, yeah, buy, right? What's going on? We're going to the moon. And then we actually move it, right? And then we actually move it because we all got together. And I think that's fantastic. I think that shows the power behind retail. And just like it happened, as you mentioned, with Robinhood at that time, right? When Robinhood had to stick their hands and show and pull out their mask and say, hey, retail, you need to stop doing this because you're hurting my trading buddies, right? Remember that?
you're
Yeah.
bankrupting hedge fund managers. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think this is pretty fun, but also, yeah, they don't know what the F they're doing. But also, we need to be careful, right? Because we can go, I mean, we can tumble with our own shoelace. And I think that's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, especially when we start getting higher highs and we get to that sell wall. I think they're gonna, or we are gonna lose that pace to that little puddle right there, that little hole in the ground right there, because retail is also known to fall over and over and over in the same hole. So we just need to be careful. I think we're doing great. I think the culture of buying and holding, or buying low, selling high, also, it's spreading out there. And that is just fantastic. That shows more enthusiasm into the general public. That is showing more education to the general public. And that will take us far.
Yeah, something I want to show here on my chart, OC, looking at this consolidation range, I just threw some of my fibs on because, typically when you have a lot of retail moving all at once, we're not coordinated, right? We're not, it's not like
Yes.
we've got, a server that we're all sitting in, millions strong going, hey, I'm buying at this level, right? We just tend to do that psychologically, right? Hey, this is my level I'm watching, right? Take a look here. Pulling from this high to this low here on this range here. This is from the high that we had on 13 July and the bottom that we set on 15 July. So 2 days later. Look at the pullback level. This is where everything's sold off. Golden pocket, right? We come back down, comes back up, golden pocket. But you can even go a little bit further with these and start pulling these the opposite direction. Okay, let's go from this bottom to this top. What happened there?
Oh wow.
Platinum pocket, golden pocket. So we're seeing this coordinated price action take place on Fibonacci's, which, eerie as it is, present in everything in the universe, also coordinating all the people to buy and sell at levels. If I'm to look at this right now and go, okay, let's take it from this low then to this high, we're looking at like 116, 117 here for a sell-off, right? If we look at this on the higher time frames, let's go here and let's go back and see from this range back here. This would be like if we're pulling it from a daily. Let's go there, pull this up to there. Look what's coming in at that range of the golden pocket. It's the value area high for this entire price range, and that's looking at like 106 to 107. So if we are to come down and even close out this fair value gap, we have a big fair value gap right here, guys. This whole range is a fair value gap. That would give me that idea that, okay, maybe it doesn't make it to the golden pocket. We get a bounce on the 50, which AKA bullish, and bounce there. But even if we break that, you're looking at 106, 107 for a pullback. Talking about Bitcoin's pullback being above $100,000, I think is very bullish. And I do think there's a catalyst for it. I'll bring you back up here and we'll talk about this one, OC. It is going to be talking about the XRP flipping McDonald's and that the Bitcoin bull run likely close to over, says a trader who's probably very bullish on XRP and probably thinks it's going to $100 a token. But anyway, I digress. Oh, look there. Nice. We got, hey guys, drop the OC tinfoil hat in the chat there. He's got it on. Bitcoin price action leaves a lot to be desired as XRP market cap milestones compounds traders' excitement over the new alt season. Bitcoin is still failing to re-challenge recent all-time highs, leading to doubts over future Bitcoin price strength. A deeper rebound could rescue the situation. We just talked about that. A deeper rebound, 50%, or the golden pocket coming in at like 106. Bitcoin stayed locked below 120 at Monday's Wall Street Open as bull market warnings accelerated. Data from Cointelegraph's Market Pros and TradingView showed range-bound Bitcoin price action giving way to surging altcoins. With Bitcoin's dominance of the total crypto market cap falling, market participants keenly eyed a full-on alt season, which we told you here on the show. We were not in an alt season yet. We talked about it over on our Discord in our session, and we talked about that level. We're only like at 59 as the max. We're now at like 53 points into 53% into the alt season, right? Hasn't even gotten started until we hit 71, just so you guys know, on that index. So if total 3 continues on this trajectory and takes out the prior high, we could see a $1 trillion market cap on the top 100 altcoins, excluding ETH and stables. Look here, if we're lucky enough to get that move, it would validate foundational support for the next leg up. It might also trigger a rotation from alts back into Bitcoin and mark the top of the altcoin rally. Let's jump over here and just take a look. They're talking about Bitcoin versus XRP. Let's go XRP BTC. Get out of there. XRP BTC. Let's go here. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, looks like it ran there. Ran pretty good. But now we're starting to get this pullback. Let's go on the weekly here. There we go. Now we're setting up for a pullback off of this level of the anchored VWAP from Chart Prime, right? XRP pulling back on resistance would be an indication that XRP could be slowing down. If we look at XRP from the basis of how far is it from its all-time high, let's bring that up. I'm just curious on that one, OC, and then we'll have you look at XRP and just tell us what you're seeing on the high time frames. We'll do a top-down analysis on XRP here. All-time high. There we go. From CoinGo Live, guys. I love this thing. Awesome. If it doesn't disappear on me, thanks. There we go. Let's look at XRP. XRP. XRP is currently 10% away from its all-time high. Its all-time high is $3.65. So, and it hit this month. If we're seeing Bitcoin dominance return back, XRP could very easily have just hit its top. And it's interesting that they've looked at this from the perspective of Bitcoin's top being in because of altcoin movement when altcoin season has not technically triggered on the alt season index. And yet now we're seeing Bitcoin's dominance return back. This big sell off on XRP and altcoins while Bitcoin is maintaining its strength there. OC are people just too bullish right now? And we talked about this also. Are are we too bullish? Does it feel more bullish than what it is? And I think the general consensus on that was yes. That is what we're seeing here. People are more bullish than what the market really is, and we're seeing that Bitcoin is holding on the first sell-off while XRP starts to slide away. What are you seeing on XRP's chart? We'll use this as a baseline because that's what they used as a baseline for alt season. And what's your thoughts on alt season and strength and chances right now compared to Bitcoin?
We have an ongoing analysis on XRP, and let me just show you that I am already into a trade. I haven't marked this up because it happened right before the show. As you can see right here, 7:44, right after the show started, we hit one of my alerts right down here. And well, for me, that is an area that we were expecting. We marked that with alerts and dashed lines. And of course, we were looking at these bearish diversions. I was expecting just a little bit of a higher movement here. Nonetheless, nothing really matter. Right here, I was planning to take a short, did not ring my bells right there, so I did not took it. I was expecting for then a further move to the upside. That did not happen. Went back down to this area. It happened fantastically, and right now I'm front running the flip of the ribbon. Could this be a mistake? Could it be? But right now I'm on profits, and I will be moving my stop to entry. Just to let you know, guys, what am I doing and why, right? We already have gone through this, and we had a plan for this, right? So far, this is not as big of a deal as how it appears to you, because if we zoom out, look at the size of the movement that we have had, all right? And then we flagged out, and this could be just a sweep of the lows. Important, is it a big jump? Yes, it is. All right. Another thing, I think this is rotation of capital. And well, while XRP has a lot of fans behind it, which is fantastic, I think there will have a limit. Another important thing is that how XRP is being pushed into the media so strongly, even recently, right, to talk about a possible XRP and XLM participation into the trade fight. And I think that has to do a lot of where that money is flowing to, and whether do we have that rotation of capital. Absolutely, we can see that week. Are we gonna hold that volume right there? I think so. That's why I am longing it. But if not, well then my stop is gonna be moved to entry as soon as we end up the show. Well then, and going for the next support in here. So far, this is the 4 hour. We're looking at a possible reaction like this one. So far, it is playing out as expected. And well, then, we just need to wait and see. So far, so good. It's not about the breakout. It's about the retest. And finally, and hopefully, off we go to the upside. I would like to see good projects. And by good projects, I wouldn't say that projects that I like, even if those ones that I don't like, but they still represent an important part in the ecosystem, like XRP, like BNB, like XLM, like Solana, so on and so forth. All right. So far, doing good. There's nothing groundbreaking so far, but I absolutely agree with you on that lost value on XRP. We were over bullish. Yes, we were. And also, we created an up ranging here, right? So we also were talking about this kind of up range in the market, and they usually tend to break to a downside. And that is what happened so far. Going to the first value area, especially if we turn on our indicators, we were looking for that smart money entry right there between that zero and this negative 32 zone. Why? Because this is where we see everybody or whoever is buying small amounts of Ripple, But at the same time, that usually it's an institution or a person or one single entity, which is called smart money, all buying at the same time and the same direction. So that's what I got on XRP so far.
Awesome. Let's talk about buying your altcoins, buying your Bitcoin. We talked about this at the beginning of the show, and I said I would go over it. But we've got this world of hey, I got Coinbase One is the perfect example, right? I got Coinbase One. I don't pay fees, and I actually had this conversation with Crypto Billy. Shout out to the Billy Goat Tells team. I had this conversation with him, and he said, "Yeah, I don't pay my fee. I don't pay any fees." I said, "Yeah, you are." He's like, "No, I got Coinbase One." I was like, "So do I." If you're not paying your trade fees, you're paying a lot more than your trade fees. And so Rob over at Digital Asset News, shout out to Rob Wolf, good friend of mine from El Paso, and awesome dude. He did this whole breakdown here, and he more brilliantly than what I could have. I explained it to Billy Goat Tells team, and I showed it on their channel. We talked about it, but he did a really good breakdown here comparing crypto exchanges are silently robbing you. I compared Binance, Coinbase, Crypto.com, and Kraken, and what we found was both shocking and very disappointing. Taking a look at this thread, here's the trick on every single exchange. The buy price is higher than the sell price. This difference, the spread, that's what we call that, the spread, is how they're quietly taking your money. On Binance, that gal in cash, you're losing instantly when trading. Look at the buy amount here on Binance. Buying one Ethereum priced at $3,260, selling one Ethereum $3,013. You have a spread there of about 240 some dollars, okay? Looking here at Coinbase, notorious for even wider spreads, and this snapshot shows that in action. Look at Bitcoin. Buy $200 of Bitcoin. Bitcoin price, $120,543. Sell $200 of Bitcoin, $118,126. And by the way, guys, this isn't just spot. They do this on the exchanges too when you market buy for trading, like when you're on leverage trading on perpetuals and futures. Same thing happens on these spreads of buy and sell. This is why we push so hard for you guys to understand about limit orders, being the market maker, not the market taker, aka market orders. Okay. Crypto.com, they bake their profits right into the spread. Look there, Bitcoin buying $120,823, selling $117,528. So Kraken, same story. No matter the platform, the house always wins if you're using basic trades. So what to do? Never use basic trades. They autofill price that favors the exchange on the spread. All right. TradingView shows the spread in the top left corner of the chart. Sure does. Start using advanced trading with limited orders. You control the price and you pay far less than hidden cost. What is advanced trading? It's where you go. If you're on Coinbase, you see the little Coinbase symbol, and next to it, there's candles. If you click that, it will take you into advanced trading. What is advanced trading? It's where you set a limit order, meaning you set the price that you're willing to buy or sell. This kills the spread problem, gives you full control instead of letting the exchange skim extra profits. And by the way, if you have Coinbase One, you're why have Coinbase One, right? Two reasons. One, Coinbase One, if you're on Coinbase, obviously you don't need Coinbase One if you're not on Coinbase and you're buying or selling through some other exchanges that have zero spot fees. But I digress on that. If you're on Coinbase and you have Coinbase One, there's two advantages to it. One, you make 4.5% or 4.3, I think it is right now, up to $30,000. And then it starts to drop a little bit out to that, but you can still make over 4% return on your USDC while you're waiting to buy. Two, you get rebates on your advanced trading. So say, for example, I did a trade and it was $80 in fees. I get like 30 some odd dollars back of that. So it's even less fees. Of course, there are better other ways out there to buy, but I saw Harp. He said he vented on that post. I'm going to see where's Harp at in here? I don't see Harp's name in here. I want to go back and find it now. Additionally, one order hit exactly. I look at the order book. I don't know. That was sniffing there. I'm going to have to find your post on here, your reply to this, Harp. But yeah, guys, if you guys are hello, mate. You ever heard of a jammy Dodger? With Alex O, crypto's in the house, man. I love it, dude. Alex O, appreciate you being here, bro. Appreciate you sending everyone over. If you go and look at those at those spreads, though, they're pretty substantial. And it's you guys be careful. They're taking your money. They're taking your money. You got to do limit orders on everything. If whether you're in trading or whether you're spot buying, set those limit orders. Take the time to learn that. And if you guys are in our community and you do not know how to do a limit order on any of the exchanges, let OC or I or Lunar Beaches, BC Port Corp, like we all know how to do this. JR, even Buck, like we'll show you guys how to stop these exchanges from making you extra money. Like you're a target for extra dollar for these exchanges. So they're a necessary evil, but at the end of the day, oh, you're sniffing. There you go. That's what I thought. I thought that was you. 100% correct. Not just them. I had 5 entries exit conveniently not hit by 0.001 in 10 days. Additionally, one order hit exactly. I looked at the order book and I was the only order at that price when I initiated it. Just another scam to deal with. Yeah, it's the necessary evil. That's why you're seeing a lot of TradFi guys. A lot of TradFi are just buying the ETFs, and we saw that they're the ones that are absorbing that buy and sell pressure from Wells. So, U.S. home records record high home prices. Yep, they are record high in June. You're right. Alex O said U.S. home prices record high in June. And I still can't sell my house because guess what else is record high? Mortgage rates. Yep, Harp is sniffing. I don't know what he's sniffing, but he's sniffing. Can you smell what the Harp is sniffing? OC, we got about 8 minutes here before you have to run off to Chart Prime to do some free classes. So, what are you watching on the charts, or do you got anything of interest that you want to show the people?
Let's take a look at just a top-down analysis from the altcoins that we're looking at. So let's get started with F Ethereum. So F Ethereum basically making the same range that we were expecting, but a little bit higher. So nothing new here. Something important out of F Ethereum. By the way, if you don't know what F Ethereum is, look it up. It's Fidelity Ethereum. We have a triple divergence coming down on
emotional damage.
Yes. And then having the money flow still strong in here and then a stable volume matrix. That's what is keeping the price instead of just ranging sideways, ranging upwards here. So let's just get rid of this. And what we're forming here seems to mean that we're doing a little bit of a head and shoulder. So we need to be careful about this because right now we have broken below the zero line. Although what is keeping us afloat, it is our money flow. So despite this, it can be read as a strength signal. Well, a sweep of the lows might be coming, some liquidity being grabbed at these areas might be coming, and that is to find some momentum back up into our oscillator. So looking for that, I still have my same areas of support at 3,473, and for a good measure, just 3,300 ish at those areas for a possible re-entry on Ethereum. Litecoin having the same dumping here. Something that I'm not liking about Litecoin, it is that it's having this very strong aim pattern or double top pattern. We did recover from this push to the downside. We have a triple divergence in here. We have a peak seeker. So we'll see if whatever got wicked, it's gonna get candled. If that is the case, we need to be extremely careful, especially because we could be breaking this previous trend line. Not only that, well, then having that double topping here could be leading us to further and lower areas of support. Let me actually change my alert a little bit farther up in here, and then let me add another one right here on this area of interest, maybe a little bit lower, just in case we start hitting those lows. Up to BNB, I would say that it is the most bullish of them all. And what's going on here? Let me just get rid of this trailing entry that we had. Perfect. Well, we are into still a parabolic movement. To measure that, I usually use my Gauss trend. That gives us a trend line based on that parabola. This trend line, it is, of course, a tangent. So far, so good. We haven't lost a tangent, but I would say that we would need just a ranging motion, right? Like we had in here, maybe even to the downside like that. That would be very beneficial for a hit on that trend line and continuation, hit on that trend line, continuation, hit on that trend line and continuation. We stay steady. Yes, we have broken the previous bearish divergences. So far, so good. BNB looking bullish, but there is no entry so far in BNB unless we either start breaking this trend line. And let me lock this. And why cannot lock this? There we go. Lock this and also add an alert. There we go. That way, if for some reason I start losing the trend line, I'll be willing to go for the breakout retest, continuation to dynamic reactor. But so far, let's leave it as is. XRP, as we have seen, I already have entered. I should be moving my stop loss as we finish up this the class. It seems like we are gonna get candle. Seems like we're gonna get candle. I'm gonna be waiting once again for that flip of the reboot, and I will be willing to re-enter on that trade that I'm already in. XLM, well, right here to stop us out. That's fine. One stop that out of the week. That is all right. And finally, I want to take a look at, where is it? This Solana. All right, so Solana, come on, let's move this out of the way. We had a 30 minutes analysis. Let's go into it. All right, perfect. And we were looking for that bounce on that dynamic reactor. That bounce played out fantastically. But so far, we had a bearish signal in here coming all the way down to dynamic reactor, and we're falling below dynamic reactor 30 minutes. This is not cool, but also we are at the bottom. What I'm going to be looking for is going to be some maybe bottoming patterns, swing failure, or double bottom, or at least a higher low breaking this trend line. So what are we looking at 30 minutes? Because that was our previous trade that played out very nicely. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let me just clear this up just to follow with this and look at our gauss trending. We are trying to pierce it. In fact, we already have broken it, and we are having some momentum. Sorry, some money flow low. As long as we hold the zero line, we are okay. But if we start losing the zero line with that money flow decreasing, I think we could be in for a little bit of a trouble, especially on Solana. So far, Solana might be having an incoming trade to the downside.
Awesome. Appreciate that, man. By the way, just a reminder, best days to DCA since January 1st of this year, guys. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's your 3 best days to dollar cost average your Bitcoin. We typically have a move up from that 7 days SMA on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So today might be the day for some DCA Buck style. That's what we do. Shout out to Buck. He's up there in Alaska. I see you, bro. And shout out to LBC. Said everyone have a great day. You have a great day too, Lunar Beaches. If you guys are not tuning in to check out OC Guy doing education on trading, Trade Live with OC every single Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then going and checking out Lunar Beaches where he's getting into Elliott wave theories and cycles and stuff like that, guys. Really, really in-depth stuff. He's on every single day right here on Piper Academy. Also at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a night show, Markets After Dark. So we got a lot of great content creators on the Piper Academy Network, and I appreciate all of them. You guys go check them out. Tomorrow morning, hopefully BC will be back with Good Morning Crypto, and we'll be back at 10 a.m. dropping the news, the charts, the marks, the macro headlines, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe. Use some risk management. Peace, love, and profits. Catch you guys later.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone.
I got to come back and say something. I just saw a question here from Robert Mulligan, one of our members. You guys get this. If you switch over to advanced, does it affect any of your positions with Coinbase? You need to cancel your current limit orders or if you have a limit order, you're good, because that's the only way you can set a limit order. It does not affect your positions that you already own. But if you have orders that you put in limit orders, then you've already been using advanced. If you're talking about your current bought positions, no, it will not affect those at all. That's it. Peace, love, profits. Later.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like
Smash that like button on the way out, people.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you will part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
You can't handle the truth.
That was awesome, dude.